Stranger Things Season 5, the final chapter, the conclusion we've been waiting years to see. And after countless hours dissecting every frame of Volume 1, I've pieced together a theory that I believe reveals the true endgame, and it's not what most people think. Forget everything you've heard about time travel. Forget the theories about Henry going back to stop his younger self. What if I told you that the 12 kidnapped children, the wormholes Professor Clarke mentioned, and even that haunting clock imagery are all pointing towards something completely different, something far more sinister than rewriting the past? I'm talking about the permanent merger of two dimensions, the complete collapse of the barrier between our world and Dimension X, and the key to understanding this plan has been hidden in plain sight since the very first episode of Volume 1. Before you click away thinking this is just another wild theory, hear me out. Everything I'm about to explain is supported by the clues the Duffer Brothers have carefully planted throughout the season, from the books Holly reads to the projects Derek builds in class, from Professor Clarke's lectures to the frozen state of the Upside Down itself. It all connects to one inevitable conclusion. And after watching the Volume 2 trailer, I'm more convinced than ever that this theory is exactly where the show is heading.
Let's start with the most important piece of this puzzle. Henry Creel is not in control. He hasn't been for a long time. Think back to Season 2. Remember how the Mind Flayer possessed Will, making him believe he had some control over the connection, that he could spy on the creature while maintaining his own consciousness. We watched Will slowly lose himself, becoming more and more a puppet for something ancient and evil. The same thing happened to Henry. The difference is that Henry's been under the Mind Flayer's influence for so much longer that his original self is essentially gone. He's convinced himself he's the mastermind, that he's chosen this path, that he's the one orchestrating the grand plan. But he's wrong. He's just another host, another vessel for the Mind Flayer's will. This completely undermines the time travel theory. If the Mind Flayer controls Henry, why would it want to erase the events that brought it to our world's doorstep? The creature that possessed Will, that created the Upside Down's hive mind, that commands armies of demogorgons, why would it want to undo its own invasion path? It wouldn't. The Mind Flayer doesn't want to go backward, it wants to move forward. It wants conquest, expansion, total domination, and Henry, whether he realizes it or not, is simply the tool it's using to achieve that goal.
Here's where the emotional core of Season 5 comes into focus. Will Byers versus Henry Creel. Two sides of the same coin. Two boys who could have become the same thing, except for one critical difference. Both were sensitive kids who didn't fit in. Both were artistic, introspective, misunderstood by their peers. Both became targets of the Mind Flayer. Both developed a connection to the Upside Down that goes deeper than anyone else's. But Will had something Henry never did: unconditional love. Will had Joyce, who literally traveled between dimensions to save him. He had Jonathan, who protected him even when he didn't understand what his brother was going through. He had Mike, whose friendship gave him strength when he felt weakest. He had Dustin, Lucas, Max, and Eleven, a whole community of people who refused to give up on him. Henry had none of that. His family feared him. His father wanted to send him away. His mother looked at him like he was a monster. Even his sister, who might have been his only ally, was killed, possibly by his own hand. Though whether Henry or the Mind Flayer was in control at that moment remains unclear. This parallel isn't accidental. The Duffers have been building toward this comparison for the entire series, and it's going to pay off in the finale. Season 4 already showed us this pattern with Eleven and Henry. They share the same source of power. Henry's power literally flows through Eleven. Yet, despite this connection, despite Henry having more experience and initially greater strength, Eleven defeats him twice. Why? Because of what fuels their abilities. Henry draws power from rage, from hatred, from the pain of rejection and isolation. Eleven, despite Kali's teachings about using anger as fuel, ultimately draws her strength from love, from her memories of Hopper, of Mike, of her friends. That's why she can overpower someone who should, theoretically, be stronger than her. The finale will echo this same theme with Will. He's going to face a choice that Henry never really had: resist the Mind Flayer's control or surrender to it. And unlike Henry, Will has the support system to make the right choice.
So if Vecna's not building a time machine, what exactly is he building? The answer lies in understanding what a wormhole actually is. In physics, a wormhole isn't a device for traveling through time. It's a shortcut through space. It connects two distant points in the universe, allowing instant travel between them. Think of it like folding a piece of paper so two dots on opposite sides touch each other. In the Stranger Things universe, these two distant points are Dimension X and our reality, what the show calls the right side up. And the wormhole connecting them? We've been looking at it since Season 1. It's the Upside Down. The Upside Down isn't Dimension X itself. This is the crucial distinction that most viewers miss. Dimension X is where the Mind Flayer originates, where the true darkness lives. It's the untouched world Henry described, the realm of shadow and particles and hive mind consciousness. The Upside Down is something different. It's the bridge, the tunnel, the wormhole connecting Dimension X to our world, and I can prove it.
The show gives us the answer through A Wrinkle in Time, the book Holly reads repeatedly throughout Volume 1. This isn't just a cute reference or an 80s nostalgia moment. The Duffers are handing us a literal roadmap for how Season 5 will unfold. For those unfamiliar with the novel, here's what you need to know. It's about children traveling through space using a tesseract, a four-dimensional cube that allows them to fold space-time and move between distant locations instantly. They're fighting against It, a giant brain that controls an entire planet called Camazotz. It is part of a larger cosmic evil called the Black Thing that spreads across the universe. Now, does any of that sound familiar? It is clearly the Mind Flayer, an entity that controls a hive mind and seeks to spread its influence. Camazotz is the Upside Down under the Mind Flayer's control. The Tesseract is what Vecna is trying to build with those 16 sacrifices. And the book's central message, that love, individuality, and human connection are stronger than fear and conformity, is the exact theme Stranger Things has been exploring since the beginning. The show doesn't just reference this book casually, it beats us over the head with it. In the classroom scene, there's a quote from the book literally written on the wall. All through the universe, a battle is being waged against evil, against the powers of darkness. Could they be more obvious? Derek is building a tesseract as a school project, a four-dimensional hypercube. Most adults can't even explain what that is, let alone build a model of one, but somehow this 10-year-old is constructing one as homework? That's not realistic character detail, that's intentional foreshadowing. Holly explicitly compares their situation to the book when talking with Max, saying their predicament feels like Camazotz, and what's episode 6 titled? Escape from Camazotz. The Duffers aren't being subtle, they're showing us exactly what's coming.